This is the Asetek Invicta wheel. It's the company's newest and flagship formula-style steering wheel designed for maximum functionality, performance, and customizability. It's made to be 100% unique to you with an entire configurator as if it was a real car. It has a 4.3-inch LCD display, interchangeable handles, carbon shifters, 144 individual input options, SimHQ compatibility, and it's made in Denmark, just to give you an idea. Sent over to me by Asetek for review. Today I'll be doing just that as I tell you what I do and I do not like and who this thing could be for. Also, for those interested, a 5% off discount code for Asetek products along with tons of others from all major sim manufacturers can be found in the video description. And so with all of that said, let's now get started with the review. Starting off, it's hard not to acknowledge the Asetek Invicta's design and quality. At 300mm in diameter, its casing is made entirely from a CNC block of aluminum, with my version having a mixed woven and forged carbon fiber faceplate, this being one of many things that are able to be configured. Of course, more than enough functionality is had on this wheel with a total of 12 push buttons, 6 thumb encoders, 3 rotary encoders, 2 kinky switches, and 2 rocker switches. As you'd expect, the color of these can also be customized to your liking, but this is actually where I encountered one flaw. You see, when I was customizing this wheel on the Asetek configurator, the orange colorway on the buttons seemed to be extremely bright and almost gold looking, something that I absolutely loved and quickly chose. However, when this wheel arrived at my door, the true color of those buttons were darker and not as gold looking as I thought they would be, this being something that disappointed me at first look. But anyways, apart from that, everything here is very well done. The aluminum buttons have a clicky responsive feel, the center rotary encoders feel fantastic and are also backlit, and the thumb encoders, rocker, and kinky switches also feel as expected. There are also 2 more additional buttons hidden behind the wheel for some added functionality, this being nice to have. Now, as you'd expect, you also receive sticker sheets to label all of the buttons, and Asetek have done a great job including everything you can think of and more, as they even give you Asetek branded stickers for your personal use, which I thought was a nice touch. Now, before I get into this wheel's biggest advantage, which you'll want to know about, we of course can't forget about the handles. Several options, including an LMP style, suede, or extra large variations can be had, with me opting to stick with the cheapest LMP style variation. This here is made from a hard rubber material and is molded well to comfortably fit in my hands. Overall though, I do have mixed feelings with them. Although the looks, signs, and ergonomics were as expected, they do have a less than premium feel to them, which I found to be slippery without gloves. You see, when I was configuring this wheel, I thought these would be made of a grippy rubber material as so many of the higher end wheels are, but it was unfortunately not. For example, looking at this Racing Formula wheel, which I'll be reviewing sometime in the coming weeks, the grips here are significantly better despite these wheels being in a similar price bracket. Moreover, other wheels like the Conspit Aries 290 GP, the Asher Racing McLaren Artura, and even something like the Simagic GT Neo, I would say have more premium quality grips, this being one downside of the Asetek Invicta, but the good news is that they can be swapped out. Now, the main selling point of this wheel, however, is of course the large LCD display. It's a 4.3-inch high-resolution 60Hz LCD panel, which will even have touchscreen functionality with a future software update. This screen can be used natively with the Asetek RaceHub software, and in here you'll find existing presets as well as an option to use it with SimHub, this being a huge plus. Now on track, I found this screen to be frankly perfect. Some elements do rotate with the steering wheel, this being something I thought was a gimmick, but it actually works surprisingly great with it being fast and responsive. Helpful animations also show up to indicate when you've made a change in the car's settings, and overall I truly have no complaints with my experience here. The brightness of this along with the rev RGB lights can be adjusted, and on the subject of those rev indicators, these can also be entirely configured along with the backlit colors of the buttons and other lighting effects. Now, of course, with a high-end wheel like this, which features so many high-quality materials and sensitive components, I always recommend using a SimShield wheel cover to protect it when not in use. A SimShield wheel cover conforms to the shape of your wheel and protects it from dust and debris, all while looking sleek and professional. So make sure to pick one up at sim-shield.com, or now also available on Amazon in North America. Anyways, now taking a look behind the steering wheel, there is tons more left to talk about. The first thing that catches my eye is the machined Asetek Sim Sports logo, which I think looks incredible. Pair that with the forged carbon fiber paddle shifter modules and Asetek's excellent quick release, and together you get this incredibly menacing rear view. Starting with the quick release system, this is actually one of this wheel's biggest advantages, and that's because it can be used with any other third-party wheelbase, provided you have the appropriate quick release adapter. Now in my case, I'm using it natively with the Asetek Invicta wheelbase, and in this case, the quick release connection is rock solid, but more about that soon. As for the paddle shifter module, I've gone with the forged carbon fiber option, and these overall feel good. They have a fast actuation and tactile enough feel and do a great job at staying quiet in operation. However, I think that for the price of this wheel, they do lag behind competitors that give you a more rock-solid shifting feel with a more defined click. For example, the Constant 290 GP features a rocking mechanism to up or downshift with one hand, the Asher Racing Artura has a more tactile shifting feel, and the Fanatec Advanced paddle module also feels more rigid. So overall, I think the paddle shifters here, despite looking great, do fall short of my expectations at this wheel's price tag, which ranges between $1,250 to nearly $1,500 depending on your chosen spec. So with that in mind, of course, all that's left to talk about is the Asetek Invicta's in-game performance. Seeing all the vibrant colors pop, the aluminum buttons glisten, and the screen shine bright, it's on track where the Asetek Invicta truly comes to life. This wheel's ergonomic design allowed me to remain immersed with everything at my fingertips and absolutely no flex or unwanted movement thanks to its rigid build quality and solid quick release connection. Moreover, this wheel at about 3 pounds is very lightweight and allows the base to give me all of the detail that I would want. Pair that with the functionality, features, and looks of this wheel and it's hard to complain much. In the grand scheme of things, despite some of my complaints, when driving and fully immersed, there is nothing here that interferes with my performance. If anything, the experience is enhanced. Overall, it's very clear that the Asetek Invicta is made for an exclusive group of sim racing enthusiasts who can't afford to invest this amount of money into the hobby. So when it comes to delivering a premium experience with performance to match, I think this delivers. So with all of that said, this has been my full review on the brand new Asetek Invicta wheel. Of course, let me know your thoughts on this product down in the comments below, and as always, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day.